Danny has some news for fans of Danny Wallace and funny, entertaining radio.
Well, let's hope so. Russell Brand, who you may have heard of.
Yes.
He's a businessman and after-dinner speaker, does a show on Radio X, but he's got to go away for a bit.
Yeah.
And so rather than have 2 hours of dead air, they said, do you want to come and step in? So I'm going to come and do Russell's show for a while.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's coming back. Welcome home. Danny and I met without meeting. We met in cyberspace, to coin an old phrase.
So nerdy.
Yeah, we were web surfing.
Wow. You guys.
We met on Xbox Live.
Yeah, we did. We were playing an internet game, and I was playing with Imaginary Martin,
right?
And Chris joined and was also playing with Imaginary Martin,
right?
And so suddenly there's the three of us all playing a lovely video game together. Just a few guys,
just hanging out.
A few guys hanging out in cyberspace.
Yeah.
So the Yes Man does really well, and then they call you, and so I take it somebody buys the rights to the movie, and at which point you get very excited.
Part of me, I'd sold Join Me a few times to British companies and had all these meetings, and we had scripts and all this with great writers, and this was a sort of a different level because suddenly lots of studios wanted it. And that makes you feel like something's going to happen. And so they start to put guarantees in place and so on. And it was supposed to be a Jack Black film. Jack Black wanted it, and he said, I'm on board, and blah, blah, blah. So it was going to be Jack Black until Jim Carrey said he wanted to do it, at which point it just became a Jim Carrey film. Weirdly, we talked about me being in New Zealand with Imaginary Martin. It was on a beach on my own, isolated, where I found out that Jim Carrey wanted to do it.
Wow.
And it's that moment where you want to tell your mates, so you want to stand up on a bus and go, by the way, Jim Carrey's going to be in this film, but I couldn't because I'm on a desert island where there were only about 800 people, many of whom are a little bit odd. There was a man who used to ride a tractor around. He only had one arm and he wore a motorcycle helmet. And this is the kind of thing we're talking about. I couldn't run up to him and start a conversation. It just seemed unnecessary. Here at Leicester Square, where we are right now, this is where the premiere was. And I remember coming in on the bus, right? I was on a well, that sounds very cheap. They'd rented a double-decker bus.
Right.
And I'm coming in, and it's me and Jim Carrey on the top deck.
Yeah.
And as we get into Leicester Square, the crowd who are all waiting for Jim Carrey, they all go, rah, like that. And he turns to me and he goes, are you ready for this? And I go, yeah, I am.
Yeah, Jim.
And then from somewhere just down here, we hear one voice just going, we love you. And he stands up just to take the adulation. Well, they haven't finished. And they go, Danny Wallace.
Oh.
But it was just one of my mates coming out of the pub, a little bit drunk. But I didn't tell that to Jim Carrey.
No, why would
I just
you?
went, this is my town, Jim. You have to get used to this.
Well,
Don't worry, I'll tell them you're cool too.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio X.